We are the underdog. We are out in great numbers, but we got a lot of work to do. And this is going to be hard work, but I know we like hard work. Hard work is good work for all of us. Hard work is good work. And we will do it with joy.
In welcoming the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Few candidates have had as successful a campaign launch as Kamala Harris. She has united Democrats, energized her voter base, raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and moved up the polls, all in a matter of 3 weeks. But Kamala Harris faces the huge challenge of sustaining this momentum for a 90-day sprint into Election Day.
Understand, in this fight, as Tim Walz likes to point out, we are joyful warriors. Joyful warriors.
For the first time in months, the Democratic Party has hope in the Rust Belt states known as the Blue Wall. Harris has managed to close the gap on former President Donald Trump in the states that have long been key to the party's 2024 strategy. Before he dropped out of the race, Joe Biden was trailing Donald Trump in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Now, Harris is leading Trump by 4 percentage points in the same critical states. A New York Times Siena College poll conducted between the 5th and the 9th of August asked likely voters in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin about their attitudes towards Harris and Trump. When asked who they would vote for if the election were to be held today, Harris received 50% support to Trump's 46%. This shows that Harris has made surprising inroads into a crucial voting bloc of white working-class voters in key swing states. This shift is significant because these voters were traditionally part of Trump's core support base and were instrumental in his 2016 victory. Now, if these white working-class voters are showing signs of shifting their support to Harris, it could play a decisive role in determining the next president.
We will win in November. We are going to win. We are going to win.
American voters are deeply worried about the economy and inflation. And public perception of the economy is a weak spot for the Democrats. Harris has acknowledged that prices are still too high.
While inflation is down and wages are up, prices are still too high. You know it and I know it. And when we win this election, here's what we're going to do about it. On day one, I will take on price gouging and bring down costs.
But polls show that Trump has the edge over her on the economy, with many Americans saying they would be financially better off under the former president.
She was a bum 3 weeks ago. She was a bum. A failed vice president in a failed administration with millions of people crossing, and she was the border czar.
The border was one of Joe Biden's biggest vulnerabilities, and now as the Democratic Party nominee, it is Harris's Achilles heel too. Trump and Republicans have slapped her with the title of border czar, tied to when Biden had asked her to work with Central American countries to address the root causes of migration. The Harris campaign strategy is to slam Trump for killing a bipartisan border bill.
The Attorney General of a border state. In that job, I walked underground tunnels between the United States and Mexico on that border with law enforcement officers. I went after transnational gangs, drug cartels, and human traffickers that came into our country illegally. I prosecuted them in case after case, and I won. Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk.
Trump is now going for the jugular with freewheeling press conferences and vicious statements on social media. He called Kamala Harris a radical left lunatic.
What's happening sort of overnight is they're rewriting history and making Kamala sound like a moderate when in fact she is far left, like far left.
Worse than Bernie Sanders. She is considered more liberal by far than Bernie Sanders. She's a radical left lunatic.
He has ridiculed her intelligence.
Kamala, who, by the way, is worse than Biden, and she's actually not as smart. Okay? She's actually not as smart. That's hard to believe, isn't it?
And questioned her race.
And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
Till now, the Harris campaign has managed to denounce Trump's attacks before quickly pivoting back to their own messaging. But can they stick to that strategy till November 5? Because Trump will not make it easy.